Oh, that started literally right as I started the video recording. Okay, whatever. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I am here checking out Rayman Origins. I know, I thought to myself that I'd already done a video on this too, but as I was going through getting footage for my Top 100 series, it just stood out to me that I didn't have a video on Rayman Origins. I had a video on Rayman Legends, but not on Rayman Origins, so I started up a fresh save file and just dropped right in, and here we go, more or less. So let's just pop straight in. There's not really that much to see in the way of options menus or anything, so we're just going to hop right into the Sea of Serendipity. Because this is the fourth world that the game's unlocked. I've been playing for about, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 hours at this point. I was originally going to stop like one world ago, but this game is so good that I just found myself playing a little bit longer than I intended. That's just the way I do things around here. So, for those of you who aren't excuse me, I'm trying to speak properly is quite hard for me sometimes. I'm not sure why, but for those of you who aren't aware, Rayman was a pretty big thing back in the day. When his original two-dimensional platforming game came out on the PlayStation 1, I actually really liked that game. I almost finished it, I believe, but like the very last world was enough to stump me. But yeah, they did a few games of that, then the Rabbids from a spin-off game of that series got really popular, and then Rayman just kind of fell by the wayside. Then when they introduced their new UbiArt engine, which is like one of the best two-dimensional engines that exists in video gaming, when they introduced that, they thought to themselves, what are we going to do with this? And one of the answers that came up was, well, let's reboot Rayman. And arguably, it's one of the best things they could have possibly done, because to say that this game looks gorgeous is to say that George Soros has a lot of money. Because Jesus, just look at it. Look at it! It is one of the best looking games, like, ever made. Like, not even just on the Vita, like, one of the best looking games ever made, period. The art is amazing. The engine that's running it is super smooth and well optimized. And just look at it. Just fucking look at it. I don't even care that this is like a platformer or anything. It's just, it looks so good. It looks amazing in so many different ways. All the effects they got going on, the amount of stuff they have on screen at once, just even these little background details here. Like, look at the amount of effort that's been put into the, just even stuff that you pay absolutely no attention to, like the, whoops. Even stuff that you pay absolutely no attention to, like the little details on the art in the background. It just looks wonderful. Not to mention that back when this game first came out, it was one of the launch window titles on the Vita, so OLED. I'm currently playing this on a Slim just because that was the most convenient way to get the game working at the time. But I originally played this on an OLED, and it just popped. One of the main reasons to justify buying a OLED Vita to this day is to play games like this and anything from Vanillaware, because the amount of color, the amount of contrast, the amount of just everything that this game's art does, it just remains unbelievably impressive. Even to this day, this game is going to look good forever. Like, there is absolutely nothing stopping this game from being one of the best looking Vita games, or one of the best looking games ever devised until the end of freaking time. It's just that impressive in the grand scheme of things. Oh shit, where do they want me to go from here? Can I zoom out? No, I can zoom in, but I can't zoom. Oh, no, there we go. Oh. So that's the reason why you want to move quickly. Alright, so the claws actually get repelled by the light, which means the only real... I say the only real obstacle is the claws, and then I immediately prove myself wrong by running right into one of the spikes in the walls. Admittedly, this is a bit of a strange level to start with, because it puts absolutely no emphasis on the platforming whatsoever, but... oh well. There's something up there. I guarantee you there is... ouch. There was something up there. It just wasn't as impressive as I might have hoped. Ow. But yeah, it's a bit weird starting on this level of all levels, mainly because there's like no platforming here whatsoever. It's all swimming around, trying to find your way through. Bollocks. I'm gonna have to swap to a proper level after this one if the third one isn't just like more swimming. Yeah, I paid for that one. However, the game is also not just a powerhouse of graphical fidelity. There is also some absolutely amazing sound design going into this. Oh, look, I can go and rescue some teensies, finally. So one of the side things you need to put effort into while you're playing this game is hunting for collectibles, one of them being teensies, which are basically just poor little guys that you need to save. And if you're like me, you can do it properly without getting your face spiked in by a bloody fish. Like, even the enemy design is great, especially the way they all, like, expand, inflate, like blowfish. Like, it's not just the fish that do this, it's every kind of enemy that does this. And they all look surprisingly impressive as they do. Just due to the way the game's art design works. It all blends together so well. Oh look, like the first bit of actual platforming we've seen in this video. And oh god, we're nowhere near the end of the level yet. Teensies can be a little bit hard to find, but you're actually helped out in that regard. They actually let out a little chorus saying, "Help me!" whenever you're relatively close to one, which is nice. Or do I have to stay near the, I do. Interesting concept. I'm willing to bet they won't let me actually touch the, oh god, why? Nope, I'm okay. Oh look, I don't remember exactly what they call them, but they're practically king lums. These things are lums, by the way, the things we are collecting, and yes, there comes more of the game's amazing sound design. Also, there's something up there. I see that gap in the terrain. I can swim through that. Skeleton coin for more lums. The lums are your main collectible. You have to get as many of them as possible in order to... You have to get as many of them as possible. I'll give you teensies at the end of a level. So there are a total of like 6 teensies to be had in every world. One is for time trials. One is for... 2 are for getting as many lums as possible, and 3 are for finding in the world. You're always guaranteed to get the third one, because the third one always marks the end of the level. And you need teensies to unlock the path to new worlds, basically. That's more or less the long and the short of it. I'm not going for that skeleton coin, let's just not waste the time. You need to get skeleton coins and get back to relatively safe ground without taking a hit, and frankly, I need to get through this as quickly as possible so I can show off some actual platforming. Looks like this is the end of the level, though. That's good. I've just barely missed the target for the second teensy, but I definitely got enough for the first teensy. Alright, let's see if the next level is proper platforming, because if it isn't, we're going to just back out and go back to World 3. I don't remember this world very well at all, which is why I was a little bit surprised. As you can see, 150, 300, and 350. You need 350 for the medal. There are other collectibles as well. And we'll get to most of them in time. And just even like the two-dimensional art I got going on here is gorgeous. So we need 85 teensies to unlock that level up there, but we don't need to worry too much about that. Alright, freaking flipper. Is this going to be a proper platforming level? I mean, it might be with a name like that. Nope, it's all underwater. Alright, we're going back to the Glade of Dreams. Pop up to Gorman Land. And we'll head on to Piping Hot. That will do the trick nicely. You can replay levels to look for the other collectibles, including the gold medals, the time trial, which is a thing, but we're not going to worry about the time trial on this level specifically. And relics. Relics are the most annoying thing in this game imaginable, because they are just really hard to see. That's their entire shtick. You have to be looking for them really carefully in the background art. I found like 2, and one of them is one you're meant to find, so they can be a little bit of an arse to see. Might be easier on OLED Vitas, but yeah, even back then I don't remember finding that many. But yeah, Origins is a proper platformer. It's not just a game where you swim around, and that would be weird. He says, looking at games like, well, Abzu is the obvious reference, but there's a couple of other ones as well, like, Treasures of the Deep. You ever play that one on PlayStation 1? That game was amazing. That game looks so good. But yeah, this is more or less the proper game. We jump. We punch. We sprint. We ground pound. And you get extra abilities as you go on. Like, you get the ability to punch to start off with. But you also get the ability to change your size in funneled areas. The ability to swim. And, well, that's pretty much it so far now that I think about it. You can also interact with certain objects on the touchscreen. This is something that was unique to... Ouch. This was something that was relatively unique to the Vita version, as far as I'm aware. The Wii U version of Rayman Legends, I believe, also let you do the same thing. But, yeah, you can use the touchscreen to interact with certain pickups. This has the strange tendency to make certain pickups just easier to get. Like, if they're in a bubble like this, you can just tap them. So, regularly when you're, like, platforming, the game will expect you to go back and make an effort to get them, but certain objects you can literally just be like, oh, I'm just going to, if you don't mind, just tap out of the way bubble and just make this really easy on myself. That is entirely something you can do. Damn it, I have missed myself a gold skeleton coin. That's okay. Not exactly playing this for completion's sake right now. But yeah, just like, look at the absolute difference between this level and the level we were literally just playing. Like, the overall difference is shocking. How much, like, what was this game's art budget? And how ridiculously high was it? Because, my god, man. The amount of visual flair and variety in this game is just something else entirely. It remains one of the most visually diverse games on Vita, just by virtue of having so many different things in it. Like, look, I missed them, right? But thanks to just using the touchscreen, it's just nice and easy now. That's always satisfying to do. Just like the twitching eye, the inflated body is just, it's so adorable. It makes you almost feel bad for the poor things. I'm gonna get this right. Yeah, we already found the teens is here, but can we replay the challenge? We can. Cool. So I can just show it off. Just try and avoid all these forks if I can. Jump! There you go. Yeah, you can tap them while they're inflated too. It makes them very easy to get that extra lum because you have to hit them once for the lum and then you have to hit them again in order to get a second lum out of them. And some of these levels can be a little bit of a jerk, admittedly, about the exact amount of lums you need to get. Like, it's usually like 300, 150, 300, 350, right? So you know exactly how many you have to get on the normal levels. With that said though, they take this into account later on, so every little extra lum you can get, like all of the ones that you can get by picking up the king lum, and then picking up any other lums for doubles, and picking up 5 extra lums from getting a health potion while you're already at full health. They are more than happy to take advantage of this bullshit, and it makes the game surprisingly difficult when you're going for that sort of, when you're going for the full 100% completion, because these levels are devilish, man. They are really well designed in a way to just thoroughly screw you if you aren't perfect. But frankly, I'm not sure I'd have it any other way, because it invites you to replay these games' awesome looking levels again and again. The challenge is always fair. I haven't seen that many levels where it's very rare for you to have to go into a certain challenge without being entirely aware of what you're about to walk into. It's never like massively dickish along those lines. So, replaying these levels... Ouch! Alright, I screwed that one up. Let's try that again. They're also very frequent with their checkpoints, so as soon as you get through a particularly difficult area, it's a lot nicer about it. But yeah, it invites you to play these levels again, which is great because they give you some really nice controls to work with. They are really smooth, very precise, and it never feels like the game is screwing you out of a lum because of imprecise controls. And the game's performance overall, despite the absolutely fantastic art, maintains a really good level of performance. Like, it's very impressive at the end of the day. There are also other kinds of levels out there. For example, this level here, Sink or Swim. This level has a treasure chest. These levels are platforming challenges where you have to keep up with the chest as much as humanly possible. There are no lums to collect. You just need to try and stay with him. And these guys are collectibles. You need to get all of them in order to unlock the game's final world. And yes, they will make you start this all the way back from the beginning if you screw up at least once, but thankfully I am a lot better at my platforming skills than I would have thought. The amount of times it took me to finish that level the first time I played this game is insane. I'm amazed I managed to do that entirely within my first try, having not played the level in several years. But anyway, So we got a red skull tooth for that, and if we hit the square button, we can return to the snoring tree, which gives us a few options. So we give that guy his tooth, but unfortunately he won't let us into the final bonus world. The final bonus world without having all 10 of his red teeth. We can also swap characters here if we like, although the only real difference between them is their overall character design. They just look different. They all play relatively close to the same. You also get new characters and skins as you get Electoons. You can also come in here to make use of your relics. Once you've actually managed to find the damn things. Spoiler alert, I haven't found any. So there's, well, I've found like 2. But that means I have to go into the other room to show you, and just, no. There's no point. They're literally just like, they're like corner pieces on a jigsaw puzzle. It's pointless. They show you absolutely nothing of what the image is actually supposed to look like. Thankfully, it just puts us right back here. Let's pull back. We'll go do a level in the Didgeridoo land, just to give you a relative idea of what this is supposed to look like. And we'll do it with the time trial turned on, just for the fun of it. There is a plot to this game, but it's literally some old people got upset that they got woken up from their nap. So, there's really no point in talking about it. Yeah, as you can see, the game is just... it remains absolutely gorgeous. In every possible respect. And if you couldn't tell, the entire goal of the time trial, just get through as fast as you possibly can, waste no time, spare nothing that would get in your way. I apologize if you're not getting too good of a look at the level, but even in, like, these levels here, they've got some really neat details going on. Like, the floors are pianos, and if you step on them, they make sounds like pianos. And it looks and sounds just as good as any of the rest of the levels I got going on. My platforming skills are not the greatest here, but, oh. Yes, as you can see, you have to do it all in one shot, so let's give it another try. I'll give it one more try, and then we'll, pull out and show off another kind of level, because they have a fair bit of variety on this game. Like, this is the Crash Bandicoot 2 in comparison. They give you a couple of neat levels with, neat gimmicks from time to time. But it's very well laid out, so you know exactly when you're going to be getting a certain kind of level. In comparison to Rayman Legends, which just threw like every other kind of level in the book at you. And it was a lot like Crash 3 in that sense, where there was an absolute ton of other things going on in those levels, and some of them weren't particularly great. I mean, I really liked the, what's it called? I really liked the airplane levels in Crash 3, and I'm happy they brought them back for... Really? Really? God damn it. Alright, I was pretty close to the end there, but... we'll go back to the Glade of Dreams, because screw those goddamn birds. But yeah, as I was saying, the variety was a little bit much in that game because some of the levels they had weren't particularly great, but they did in this game it's pretty smooth in comparison. With that said, let's show you another kind of level that you have to do. We'll go back to Gourmet Land for this one. And to be fair, like, these kinds of levels here that we're about to play, I absolutely understand being in this one because, well, they were in the original Rayman as well. And they were great there too. But anyway, Mr. Mosquito. Although, in this case, it's more him carrying me than me carrying him. Because if you're Rayman, you ride him. But if you're not Rayman, or really Glowbox, just to be fair, he rides you. And that's a really nice touch. I never actually knew that happened, but I actually really like that. That's great. But yeah, these levels are pretty simple. You just hammer away at the X button to fire. Like, they do tell you to hold X, but there's no reason to. You just fire faster when you're not using it, when you're not holding it. You just tap it like the madman that you are, and you'll just get more out of it at the end of the day. Plays by the same rules the regular levels do, but damn it. It plays by the same rules the regular levels do, except there's no hidden teensies, so you just got to get as many lums as possible for the guy at the end of the level. It's a lot less dark in comparison to the original Rayman. Like, that game had a tone that was kind of... Like, there was very clearly a tone of malice under the original Rayman skin. Like, especially when you hear, like, the you lost a life sort of thing in that game. It was very clearly trying to mock you. This game does not do that. It is absolutely not that malicious about everything. Shit. But still, its overall tone and charm is really lovable in this game. My thumb is cramping up. Let's just hold the X button for a bit. I don't think we need to worry about too much in this level in particular. He says he starts hammering away at it again. Yeah, I absolutely need that extra health pickup. I can't hear it, so I don't know if I'm using the right tone or not. They tend to swap them out here and there. That's okay. We could have gone for that if I was a little bit quicker. Knives are dicks. Let's just pop that one out right away. Whoops, that's a thing. But yeah, I think you get the idea. There is a boss fight at the end, but we'll just keep this video going along nice and relatively quick paced. We already spent 10 minutes in a swimming level. I feel bad at the moment. But anyway, we'll pop back and we'll do a level in the first set of levels to end this video off, huh? You do unlock extended versions of these worlds at the end, and as I said, there is a 5th and final bonus world for getting all of the red teeth. Punching plateaus, it'll do. But yeah, there is nothing stopping me from recommending this game. It plays like a dream. It looks wonderful. It has a really nice balance on the difficulty. Some people weren't particularly impressed with Legends just due to the fact that it really wasn't that great on the difficulty overall, in the sense that they made it a fair bit easier. This game feels just right in comparison. And they did include a bunch of the Rayman Origins levels in Legends. But as I said before, they made everything a fair bit easier in that game. So that includes the Origins levels. They rebalanced them to make them simpler. Some people might see that as a good thing, I personally don't. And then they went and did a really stupid thing by making the series a mobile platformer experience with nowhere near the... Well, I mean, they still use the same engine and the same art assets. Hell, they ripped a bunch of them from Origins and Legends. Just straight up copy-pasted, more or less. And now the series is kind of dead in a ditch. They haven't gone back to it in ages. They're more than happy to just keep exploiting their Rabbids IP. I mean, don't get me wrong, Mario and Rabbids, whatever it was called. The strategy game they released exclusively on the Switch. That was a decent enough game. There was nothing particularly wrong with it. It was just... You dropped Rayman for that? Oh well. There are also gifts, but, you know, Nia, rest in peace. And you can also race levels in Ghost mode. But there doesn't seem to be any online leaderboards, so it's kind of pointless. So, yeah, that was a look at Rayman Origins. Really well done. One of the best looking games on Vita. Plays like a dream. Has a good amount of variety without getting too over the top about it. And a really well done difficulty curve that does require skill, but at the same time, it requires skill. Unlike Rayman Legends, which felt just a fair bit too easy. It is an absolutely great game. You can probably pick it up for nothing these days, and I absolutely recommend that you do. And now I'm pretty sure, with this video out of the way, that I've done every game in the Vita's launch lineup in North America. So, good for me. I made that claim like last year or something, and it wasn't true then, so... Now let's actually make that claim. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.